I'm Brian, a Lathrop senior who's in 4-H's media club.
I'm Tyson. I'm a 4-H mentor and video producer.
We're both from Fairbanks, Alaska.
So here's the media club that's sponsored by 4-H, and it's part of Lathrop's after-school program.
We make a lot of short videos for Lathrop.
Good morning, Lathrop. I'm Brian. And I'm Katie Pong. You're watching the monthly report.
For our next project, we're going to try to make a half-hour documentary.
But hey, it's not our first walk in the park. We want to see what it is like in a small Alaskan town. Come with us as we travel to Dillingham, Alaska. Awesome, we're in row 24.
That's my favorite too.
Here we go.
Why are all these people coming to Dillingham?
Do you know where we are?
Nope.
Do you know where we're going?
Not really.
Okay, should we get a cab?
No, they're like $10 per person.
Oof.
Is this all there is?
I think so. Wait, we have a job to do.
You're right. Let's get to our hotel. Hey, this is it. The DCYCCC.
The what?
The Dillingham Christian Youth Center and Coffee Corner. We made it! This is really good.
Yeah, thanks Tyler and Jasmine. They run the youth center and coffee shop.
And in our case, a B&B.
We're here for 4 days, and we have 5 pounds of food.
What did you bring?
Only the essentials.
Smart choice. Hey, Jasmine and Tyler invited us to a Bible study. Do you want to go?
Yeah, sure. The Bible study was different for me. It was my first time at a church and Bible study. My mother is Buddhist, so most of the time she's praying alone at home or at a temple. The Bible study was long and a lot of talking. I'm used to silence while the monks are reading.
Hey, Brian, go ask one of the pastors what they think of Dillingham.
I often say this to people. I think that if you really like Dillingham, I'm persuaded that you probably won't really like anywhere else in the world. If you really like somewhere else in the world, you probably won't really like Dillingham.
So, what do you want to do next?
I don't know. You want to walk around town, see what it's like?
Look,
What?
I saw something big. There. Did you see it?
No. Where?
Right there.
Is that a whale?
I think.
Hey, look, there's another one. Wow, this town has a lot of art. I feel like there's a pretty common theme here.
Yeah. I met this girl at the youth center named Katarina. She's my age. She helped organize this project on this basketball court.
We wanted to do projects that would pretty much make our community more beautiful and clean it up or bring the community together. So we did a couple events where we did that, and this was one of them, was to hang up beautiful fish which local community members had painted. We weren't getting a lot of compliments on our town, and nobody really enjoyed the scenery around here, and so just to make our community, to show what's important to us, because these are fish, everyone comes here for fish, and it's just nice to see them all over town.
I know where we can learn more about fish.
The high school?
Behind the school.
Come on along here. We've got, first of all, just sort of our bullpen out here, which is where we stick our news reporters and everybody that's on task. Let's see if we can slip in on Zoe real quick. She probably won't mind. So Zoe's doing a weather forecast for us right now on air. And we cover the fishery with all the numbers the guys out in the water can't get. So they want to know how many fish have been caught where, what the escapement is, what's the test fishing showing, and the rest. And we just kind of relay all that in a way that you definitely wouldn't find elsewhere on the radio, kind of a thing. So
if there's a lot of fish in the district, a lot of those fish could move up on the blow. And we have to be ready to be able to respond to that, which means having the fleet on short notice.
And for a lot of folks, that's going to mean getting their boat in the water today or tomorrow here. This harbor's still about half empty. This will be my 6th summer as part of our news team here. And it's definitely the most exciting time of the year. It's a great place to be 12 months out of the year, but everything gets going big time right about now. So.
All right, we came at the right time.
That sort of explains all the people flying in.
I love to subsist. I love salmon, and I love how prosperous it is here. It's part of my culture. And my family loves to do it, so I love to help them out. We were actually just arguing in the car about where to drive on the beach, but then we got out here and seen all the fish, and it just kind of changes your mind about everything. You stop thinking about it.
So, Brian, do you have any idea how these work, how they catch fish?
I have a basic premise. As the tides come in, it lifts the cork line. The lead line is heavy. It stays on the ground. This creates a wall of webbing that the salmon swim into. After the tides go out, people pull in their nets.
Wow, and the tide comes in and out every 12 hours. I think one of those guys needs your help.
Their net was stuck onto something, so we couldn't even pull it in.
So, Brian, what was it like?
It was very rigorous. Definitely involves needing more than one person to actually do what they do twice a day when the tide comes in and comes out. I'm kind of hungry after all that. Can we get something to eat?
Okay, you earned it.
It's kind of ironic how expensive the fish and chips are.
Whoa, $36 for lunch? You're buying, right?
Okay, I guess this one's on me, I guess.
I wonder if they get their fish nets on Amazon.
Yeah, let me check very quick.
Maybe fishnets is not clothing? Let's see, fish net. Oh, you can't put an S on it. I think they just make them in town.
I do this every summer for past 18 years now, and I've been teaching my my two sons. They're still, one of them is hanging now. Now I'm teaching my grandson over there. Now he's into it, so hopefully it'll be good next year to help us out.
Okay, so they're tying the webbing to the lead line and the cork line.
If for me, like for my boy, he could do 2 a day if nobody bothers us. But it takes time, patience, and everything. You're sitting down on a bench like this, like 8 to 10 hours a day. Your hands hurt, but somebody's got to do it.
It seems like so much work. Let's go speak to some of the elders in the area.
This was always my dream, that someday all of our kids would live close to us. And they all do, with the exception of her, that she's just down the road, but she will.
Quarter-mile down the road.
Yeah.
It's within walking distance.
When she lost her muffler, we knew when she started her car to go to work every morning. Yep, that's me. And Margot. Marina probably. Here's Marina driving the boat.
Oh, yeah.
The population, I believe when I came here in 52, I was told that the population of Dillingham was 400. And now it's, I believe, 2,500 in the winter, and it swells to over 5,000 in the summer when the influx of fishermen and
Pictures when we have full full sterns, because of course that is that's what everybody's hoping for.
that's George there. In the summer, we're excited. We want to have that first taste of king salmon. We want to gather seagull eggs. We want to go into the woods and pick ferns and gather chwasuk and put it up for winter. It's all that. We're excited. Spring is there. Then the summer comes and it's work, work, work.
We take and we dry fish, so we fillet it out and leave the tail hanging on it, and then score it and hang it up and let it dry, and then we smoke it and freeze it, so we have dry fish.
Well, I like my pot roast, then bake, and barbecue.
My niece and I, we like frozen king fillets rather than red because they're fatter and they stay moist longer.
The head, a little bit, and slice it up a little bit. They boil it and eat it with raw onion.
You dry them a little bit, you smoke them a little bit, you throw them into the freezer, and then when it's time to eat them, you boil them, and it's called gumchuck. And so we do that with the heads and the tails. The reason we have the stove in the garage, this is where we can our fish, so that we don't have to, because it gets really warm, you know, with all the steam. So we figure we're gonna have 4 days of canning this year. And here's the freezers. And I don't know, I don't think they're getting empty. Summer's coming.
Put the fish rock, salt fish rock until it's full, then put a little bit of water, put that away until winter time, and you take it out, it's real salty. So you gotta cut it up, drain the water out how many times until you get that just right salt mixture.
In the fall time, we will go up to the lake where they are starting to spawn out, and we will get the redfish. We call them sayach. They have, of course, the red skin and their meat is all turned white. We just dry them, and then you dip them in seal oil when it's time to eat them. And we have an abundance of seal oil going on, so that's always, that's my mouth waters. We wanted 57 kings and 95 reds, which is pretty tame, considering some years we do like 200 reds.
Just work, work, work. That's the summer.
Tyson, all this talk about food is making me hungry.
Dude, we just ate.
Sorry.
It's okay. I have a recipe you'll love.
The ACCO? I guess this company goes way back.
Here's our list. 11 basic items.
Okay. Woof. That's more than I spent at the restaurant.
I forgot my wallet. Can you get this one?
Okay, I got this one. So what are we making?
It's a spaghetti oatmeal cereal soup sandwich with bananas and salsa on top and a side of onions and beans.
Oh man, wasn't there a Subway down the street?
Brian, we can't just throw away money at restaurants.
But $60 is pretty steep for this.
How much do you think this would have cost back in Fairbanks?
Let's see. About $31.54?
Without hunting and fishing, you'd need to be rich to live in Dillingham.
Without fish, what is there? Nothing.
Fishing pretty much runs the town because all those big companies and corporations that employ the people around here, they wouldn't have been here if the cannery hadn't been here first.
Like I say, without fish, we have nothing. So subsistence is important for us. It's not just for me, it's for my grandkids, the generation, you pass it on. It's been going on for so long, so...
Your phone.
Maybe we should go. They're probably busy.
Okay, but I do want to hear more about fishing's historical presence.
We could check out the museum.
This is sort of representative of a going into a kazigik, and a kazigik was the men's house, but this was the birth canal. This is where all life entered through this. You know what the name Bristol Bay comes from? Captain Cook. He came into the headwaters of the bay, and he called it Bristol Bay after Bristol, England. It has a kind of a similar bay.
Why did Dillingham become so established?
So there was an early establishment of people here, and that's where the first canneries happened. But I think the fishery started here in, I want to say 1884. They started, and they had like little salteries and canning of fish. And the first cannery is Peter Pan down there. That cannery is the oldest operating cannery in the state. It's been operating since I think it was 1903 or 1904. But here's a good description or showing of the sailboat. Where there were two people on the sailboat, and they were out there for 6 days on the water.
This place looks terrible to spend 6 nights.
Well, I think the fish went in there, and I'm guessing you would have slept over here.
I first started fishing in Bristol Bay way back in the early 50s, and they were just converting from these old sailboats to power, but there were still a lot of these old sailboats still going. And they lived on these things with just a little single burner stove for heat and to cook with.
The Swedes, they call it a Swede stove.
One thing about these old sailboats, in the old days when they were fishing these things, the best fishermen would catch 40 to 44,000 salmon, which would equal over 200,000 pounds, all manual labor. They did it by muscle power alone.
Well, Tyson, it's been 4 days. It's about time we head home.
Yep. It started out as a rough trip. We didn't know what to expect, but it was a beautiful time.
We may have like all these connections and all this like all these people and size of the city itself, but we're kind of like landlocked. We're not remote at all.
You know, we have like bigger markets and bigger grocery stores and movie theaters. But when you look around town, there's nothing really that like unifies the whole community. I mean, like look at our art versus their art. I mean, maybe it says something about Fairbanks culture. There is no like common culture here. Whereas in Dillingham, all the art is fish related, and like everybody is connected to fish there.
Maybe like living in Dillingham is a more of a challenging way.
Daddy has, if you need anything, pretty much Daddy has it. It's always, he's taught me how to be maybe a hoarder in some people's opinion, but you know, living out, it's not so bad now because we have regular commercial airlines, but it used to be that, you know, the barge would come in the spring and in the fall.
Really, the sense of connection and unity of like a group that they consider themselves together in a way.
There are people like, oh, we kind of think of, oh yeah, so-and-so could use some of the seal oil, or we get a caribou and say, oh yeah, well, especially the elders, oh yeah, that widow up there, give her some caribou, or it just shows, just shows how sharing everyone is.
I wouldn't really want to live in Dillingham, but I can respect that sense of community. It's pretty nice.
There's so many nice people, the way the community's set up.
Hey Brian, close your eyes.
What?
I got a surprise for you.
Thanks, Tyson. It's just like being home.
Hey, we earned it. By the way, this one's on me. Cheapest meal yet.
So, where do you want to go next?